about my horrible background of like my messy bed. I didn't sleep at home last night because I was out at my gig, and I just when it's rave day, I get so excited. I usually can't sleep, so I usually wake up like really early, and then I'm constantly looking at the clock and thinking what I need to get ready and what I need to do. So for all you events that start late at night, like the fact that you start late, but I also don't at the same time because it feels like the day drags and you just want to get there and you want to get to the rave. Just absolutely off the boot, man. So yeah, I apologise about that. I just rushed about yesterday, got all my stuff ready for the gig, and just sort of left the house. I couldn't leave the house any quicker. I was just excited to get to my mates and start getting in the mood ready for the night. So anyway, so this is the Stompin's third birthday aftermath. And this is, so if you don't know what these streams are, basically this is just where I talk about my experience of my sort of like latest gig. So if I do a gig somewhere, I normally make a stream and I'll like announce where I'm playing, and I'll announce sort of like what night it is and what set I'm going to be playing. And then I usually do like an aftermath where I just pop on a stream and say, hey, this is how the gig went. And talk to you a bit about the gigs itself. And I like to do this especially like if I'm playing somewhere new for the first time, because when you do that, there's so much like that you've got to sort of look out for and review. Like, you know, if you go into a venue that you've not been to before and you're going there for the first time, like you've got the experience of what that actual club is like. Sometimes you might end up using a bit of DJ equipment that you've never used before. So, for example, CDJ Nexus 2000s, I'd never been on them before, and then I got booked for the DNA last year, and lo and behold, I'm literally there and I'm playing on them for the first time. RXs and pardon, RXs and stuff like that. Because I don't, you know, I obviously don't own one, so you know, it was all new for me getting a chance to have a mix on some of them as well. Do you know what I mean? So you know, there's always so much to review when you go in somewhere new for the first time, but it's still fun, but not as fun when you like, you know, sort of like almost like, you know, talking about somewhere that you've been to so many times, but you know, they're still worth doing. So, yeah, so Stompin's third birthday. Stompin was 3 years in the game, so they started running the event 3 years ago, and I remember it very well because I was, well, the guy who promotes it, he used to play on a Facebook page called Hull Dance Radio, and it was a radio, pardon, it was a radio station online as well, and I come across this radio show, well, this radio station before I come across this guy, because I knew somebody else that was playing on there from Driffield, and he was playing he did like sort of like classics vinyls and stuff like that on a Tuesday, and I can't remember what he used to call his show. So anyway, I was literally just following the station, and they put up a post, and this guy's looking for an MC. So obviously me back then, I'm right big into my MCing, so I obviously get in touch, and you know, I put my name forward and look, you know, I do a bit of MCing, and then I get added by the guy called Dave, and he talks to me, and you know, we sort of a little bit from there. And then I realised he's doing a show on the station every Friday, so I literally start locking in, and it's full of like hardcore, like the good old like Clubland Extreme hardcore, so all the sort of well known, the sing-alongs like System F Cry, you know, the Dougal and Gammas, Trust in Me, you know, all them absolute classics that, just rock dance floors for years. He was playing them, and he was getting a decent amount of views, and he had good energy on his lives. So next thing I know is he's putting this little night on called Stompin. So I'm like, do you know what? He says, if you get yourself down, I'll let you have a go on the mic. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, definitely. So the day comes, and it turns out that sadly it's on the same day as a friend's birthday, and I'd been invited to go around and Beverley and have drinks and go around all the pubs. I actually ended up missing the event. I was gonna do the my mate's birthday, and I was gonna go around all the pubs with him for a bit, and then about tea time, I was gonna hop on a train, and I was literally gonna just then make my way to this event and go to this event at night. So I decided that that's what I was gonna do, but it just didn't go that way on the day, and I just ended up drunk for my mate's birthday. And back then I didn't, because I'd never been. There was nothing, There was a chance for me to go to the next one, so I went to the next one, and I've been going to them ever since. And 3 years, and the events, they're doing really well. They're going from strength to strength, and the lineups are just getting really good. The lineups are just absolutely wicked, and I enjoy being a part of them. And even if I don't get booked to play them, I still like to go to the nights itself, because there's a lot of like people I know now that have become my friends, and they all go, and it's like it's like we all catch up, if you get what I mean. So it's been a good 3 years. So obviously, yeah, last night was the third birthday. I was booked to play, so I opened up downstairs in room 2 again, which I enjoy doing that. It's not. I don't play for like the busiest of crowds, because it's just people come in, and a lot of people do go for the main room, and then the downstairs sort of fills up a bit more later on. So I normally warm up with like hard house and stuff like that. I decided that yesterday I was going to do a full on bounce set. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give the bounce a try, because I like at the moment I love mixing my bounce. It's me at the moment. I'm following like loads of like bounce producers, and I'm buying tracks, and I'm just loving the general bounce scene at the moment. So I was sort of like, I've been collecting these tunes for a while, and I've not played any of them out in a club yet. So I was like, I do want to do a little bit of a bounce set. So I start playing this bounce set, and it's going really well actually. Um, there's two women behind the bar, like, who were workers, and because they knew some of the remixes, like there was some like Clubland, like tunes that were big in Clubland, and they were singing along. And then the girl even come over to me and said, can you play some more of this stuff, because we're really having a enjoyable sing along, and it's really making the work quite fun. And they're like filming for their Snapchat stories. So I was quite buzzed about that. And then as time went on a bit, they said, will you switch it up to hard house a little bit, once it gets to 8 o'clock or so? Because I ended up going on earlier than I was supposed to do, because everything got set up, blah blah blah. So I thought, all right, yeah, I'll change it up, and I'll take it a little bit harder from 8 o'clock, when it's starting to fill up a bit more. So I decided to do that, and I finished off on a toasty little hard house set. I played some of the tunes that I played at the previous Stompin, because the last Stompin, it wasn't too busy, and sadly the set didn't get recorded. Well, it got recorded, and some clown decided they was going to steal the USB stick, so not really many people heard that set anyway. So I thought I can get away with playing a few of the tunes again. So I was quite pleased about that, and I just had a general good set. It was enjoyable again. So that was all fine and dandy. And then after that, I got seriously drunk, and I actually regret it. I'm not gonna lie, and I actually feel now that I'm at the point in my life where I actually want to give up drinking. And I'll tell you for why. Because I had a hangover, this sort of. Well, I woke up this morning about 10 o'clock at my mate's house, where I always crash over after Stompins. And I woke up and I still felt drunk. I still felt drunk. Um, they had to pop to the shop to get some sugar, and I popped to the shop and got a drink, got a bottle of Coke, and I just I felt sort of like drunk, and then we got back home, and sat just chilling there, and then it's almost like I'm sobering up, and I'm drinking my cola, and I'm sat there, and I'm sobering up, and then this hangover just starts slowly creeping in, and my friend's daughter was at a birthday party this afternoon. And she didn't want to go on her own and take her on her own. And my other bloke had some plasterers plastering the inside of a summer house. So she said, would I go with her? And at first I was sort of like joking, like, I don't really want to go here, to be fair, like sort of having a joke. And then this hangover just got worse and worse. And then I was like, actually, I really don't want to go. But I decided to go anyway. And I've never felt so ill in all my life. So I get to this pub and it's like there's no air in the room. And I'm burning up, I'm sweating, I'm absolutely just feeling shocking. Every time like I looked down, like my head and the room was spinning. I was going dizzy. I was getting like pains in my stomach. I went to the loo, and obviously it wasn't too good at the loo. And then I actually ended up having to go outside to be sick. I went into the bathroom to be sick at one point, and then I went back in there because I felt like I needed to be sick again. But then a guy came in to have a pee in the loo, and then I thought I can't go and be sick. Do you know what I mean? Like while he's having a pee, ruin the atmosphere of him having a Sunday afternoon pint. Um, and the only thing that was making me feel all right was going out in the fresh air. So I had to keep going outside, spewed up for a bit. I just felt like I had to get something up. But I just felt so shocking that I just genuinely, on a level, just did not. It put me off drinking. It honestly just like because I've had bad hangovers before, and I thought, do you know what? Why do I do this? And to be honest, I've cut down on drinking a hell of a lot. And like because a couple of years, well, a year ago maybe, a couple of years ago, I used to drink like most weekends. I used to be out at the pub necking shots and necking bottles of beer. Do you know what I mean? And then when I started like getting a bit more professional with my music, and I started linking with the layman a bit more, we were sort of going to like put our names out there and represent ourselves at events. And if I'm going there, and obviously if I'm getting like absolutely wasted, it's like it's no good. So I sort of toned it back. But when it's a stomping, I usually, because it's in my home local town, I usually crash at my mate's house anyway. So like I know I'm guaranteed to get back somewhere, and get back safe. I'm not left to get my own sort of like transport back home, like from out in another town, etc. Or I are walking back to an hotel and getting so drunk that I don't even remember where the hotel is. So I know obviously when it's a stomping, it's like my one time where I to chill, and I've done my set so I can have a few drinks. But this hangover I had this morning was, I've never felt anything like it in all of my life. And I think it was more the fact that I drank something that didn't agree with me. And I think that's what it was, because it wasn't just your normal typical little bit of a headache and feel a little bit sick. It was like the headache was pounding, I was burning up, I had stomach pains, everything was shocking. Like I would not even want my worst enemy to feel as ill as I felt today, because it was shocking, and it came on about dinner time. And then towards mid-late afternoon, it started wearing off. I'd been sick and all the rest of it, and got it all up, or most of it up anyway. And then I'd been getting fresh air, and then I just started to somewhat come back sort of to normality. And we're walking back from this little birthday party at the Drake. and I can feel myself starting to feel a little bit of normality, and not feel as bad. So I get back to my friends and I'm just sat chilling, and just over time I'm like just slowly getting better and starting to feel better. But it just the hangover felt so bad that I couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just thought, why did I put myself in that position to make myself feel this bad? Um, and you know, I had a beer, and then I had a beer, and then a beer, and then a beer, and then another beer, and it was just beers after beers. I had beers bought for me. I was buying my own beers. I had that I remember. I had 4 Jaeger bombs in total because I was owed one anyway. Um, my friend Gemma got them in a couple of times. Um, got a round of them in, and I had two each time. So that was all right. That was all gravy. Um, but yeah, just it was a beer. It was a beer, and another beer, and then it led to another beer. And before you know it, I've just had loads of beers. But I was having a really good night. I was enjoying myself. I've definitely changed at raves as well. I'm a lot more now, like, whereas before I'd always like sort of like stick myself to the dance floor and watch all the sets. And it's not that DJs don't smash it and I don't enjoy sets anymore, but I enjoy like wandering between the two rooms and talking to people, and and like just literally like just get having a chat with people. And I've done that at the last two Stompins now, where I've just been floating around, and I've just spoke to people, and I've chilled out outside in the smoking area for a bit, and just grabbed a word with some of the other DJs, and it's a nice thing to do. It's a nice feeling. You're getting to know people, you're making contacts and connections. It's a good thing to do. Because I do know some people that go to raves and they'll just stand in a corner and go Facebook Live, and they'll just stand there and witness every set, and they won't really even go to the outside and talk to anybody really. So, but yeah, so after my set, like I say, it was a lot of just walking around and talking and chilling with people. A few things did, sadly, which is I won't go into too much detail of what happened, because I'm not there to give where I played a bad name or anything like that. But there was just a few little bits of trouble that went down that did get dealt with. But obviously, I won't mention them on streams, because I don't give places bad names. And stuff like that. But other than that, like the music was on point, the MCs were on point. I really enjoyed the vibe from the second room this time. It was very, um, very like good. The one thing that did make me laugh, there was a guy who come on after me to play downstairs, and he plays like a reverse bass stroke hardstyle set. Gets to the end of his set, and he plays this reverse bass tune. This reverse bass tune just goes into a little section where this like really almost like heavy sort of French core up tempo kick comes in, and I think the guy who runs the night, Dave, I think he'd come down just at the not the wrong time as such, but he hadn't really realised, I don't think at first, what had gone on, and he was like instantly, no, we don't play that heavy stuff here. Like, I don't like that stuff. I can't stand that stuff. But I don't think what he realised is that it was just a little section of the track that went into that, because I've got a tune myself that does a similar thing. It's a bootleg of Party Don't Stop, and the first drop is like a side trance drop. The second drop goes into like a little bit of an hard style kick, and then the third drop builds up, and this sort of hard style gabba kick just sort of speeds up, goes to about 200 BPM, literally 200 BPM, and it boots off like quite fast and quite heavy. And if ever I was going to play the main room like that, I was going to plan to drop that track in. But it's only literally about 16 bars of this like hard kick that comes in through the whole track. It's just that one section of the track that actually comes in like that. And it was just one of them like unfortunate things. Like, he just dropped this track, and there was just this one little section that had this real heavy drop in it, and they Dave don't like that stuff, so he was like ready to sort of like turn him off. He was on his last track, but he was like, no, we don't play that stuff here, and he was just trying to explain that it was a section of a track. I hadn't set out an aim to play a heavy set like this, so you know but yeah, everyone just smashed it. There was good sets all round really from both rooms, and nice little crowd there. So that was all good. Got a little surprise when I got there. They had the flyers for the next Stompin. So people who come to the event, they got to see the flyer first, and I actually have it in my pocket. But sadly, it's looking a bit worse for wear. It's got ripped, but I will reveal it. It is here now, and it is actually going to be set to be one belter of a Stompin. And so this is Stompin on the 21st of May. So Stompin is actually back next in March, but they're actually hosting the Room 2 for Uprising, which I was going to that, but now there's a few things that's a little bit up in the air for me, and I've got a few things to try and sort out, and I've got a few decisions to make, and whatever decisions I make, I'm going to annoy some people and then make some people happy. But to cut the story short, originally I was booked to play at an event, the Core Vibes, in April, the 2nd of April in Birmingham. Now, sadly, there was two absolutely massive raves that come on around that area in the same time. Now, Core Vibes, it's a good event, but it's not massive. It's not like on the scale of like a Ravers Reunited kind of thing. So when these bigger nights take off, and they put nights on, there's just no competition. They book like the big headliners and some of the best in the game, and people, they sell out and people go to them. So they decided that they was going to move their date forward. So so they moved. So they had a bit of a discussion about moving the date forward, and then they moved the date forward to March the 11th. And I clicked at first, like, yeah, cool, that's good for me. And then I thought, wait, hold on a minute, March the 11th. And then I realised it was Uprising. So I was in a little bit of a stuck position, because Uprising was originally supposed to take place about 2 years ago, just before the lockdowns came in. And there was a group chat made, and there was a coach that was hired to take us from Hull to Sheffield. And I'd actually already paid for my seat on the coach. Now, sadly, during the lockdown, the coach company actually went bankrupt and went bust, and they actually finished. So we sort of no longer had a coach, and people sort of like lost out on money. However, they decided that they was going to like get another one organised, and they was going to sort of sort it out. So they got this new coach sort of sorted, and I said, look, I'm still down to go. I'll still come, blah blah blah. And then obviously this date got changed to literally the same night as that. Now, because I was booked to play, it sort of it was left in the sort of hands of, well, do I turn down a booking to go somewhere where I'm not actually playing, or do I sort of like say, look, I can't come to the Uprising because I've got an actual, I've got a booking. So I was a little bit like sort of up and down, and my friend Lee wasn't sure what he was doing. He wasn't sure if he was going to get booked to do the pictures at Uprising, and then they didn't get back to him, and then the Core Vibes confirmed that they'd have him for the pictures. So he said he was going to the Core Vibes, and then literally yesterday, another event that I believe I will most possibly be playing for. I can't say what it is. They announced their event, and they said that they hinted about a week and a half ago that their next event was in the pipeline, more info coming soon. And then yesterday they just basically gave us a date, said put the date in your diary, and the date was actually for the day after the uprising. So now I'm in this even bigger predicament, because if I go to the uprising, I go on the coach. Now the uprising doesn't finish till 6 in the morning, so I've got to go to this rave till 6 in the morning, and then I've got to come home on the coach. So by the time I get home, we're coming back from Sheffield, it's going to probably be going on 8, 9 o'clock by the time I walk through my door. That kind of thing. Then I've got to go to bed, and then I've got to be up because I'd be playing this other booking on the night. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm thinking now, which, you know, again, it's going to disappoint people, and it's going to make some people happy. So I'm thinking I take my booking where the date got moved, because I'll be going with the layman. So when we've done what we need to do, we can drive back, and it's not going to be like getting in at like 6 in the morning. It'll be getting in at like, or even if it was getting in at 6 in the morning, it's still like, 2 sort of 3 hours earlier than what it would be if I'd go to the Rising. So it gives me more chance to get my head down. The event itself that I will possibly be playing for on the Saturday doesn't start till about 11 at night anyway. Info to follow, trust me. So I'm thinking, and if it's this event, if I am going to be playing for this event, which I do believe I am, I can't miss it for the world. It's like something that I just cannot miss. So like, to me, things have just sort of all turned out to be quite poor and badly. So I might just have to pull out of going to the Rising, which is, I did want to go to the Rising as well, but sometimes things just happen for the worst, like for the worst, like that event just changed its date, and then obviously like the date was just that fitted everybody else, or most people, just it didn't fit me, sadly. So now I'm thinking to myself that I'm gonna have to do a little bit of pleasing and letting down at the same time. But so the next Stompin is officially with the uprising. But when they're back at their usual home in Hull, they're here, and we've got an absolute corker of a lineup. So we've got Kakuma live, and it's I can confirm the live PA is also going to be coming along. So they've got the live PA as well as the DJ. We've got the Legends Al Storm, B2B Rob IYF, doing a very special 24/7 hardcore set. There's Nico Pursuit, Sniper, B2B Ecstatic. There's Nish, Overdrive and JW, Johnny Eel and Fast Tracks. So they're going to be all playing the downstairs. So MCs, JD Walker, ELL, Synergy, Fergie, Ray Charm, Active Turbo, Space, Clarky and Critical. So they're all going to be MCing. Room 2, we're actually got myself, Digital Error, we've got Sneaky P, Lowy, we've got Grenada, Bushy is B2B with Brooks, we've got Speed, we've got a guy called Grandee, we've got Titch Meister, and again myself. So it's going to be set to be a really good night is this, and this night is a special night for me. It's the 21st of May. Now 2019, the 25th of May was when I first ever got an official nightclub booking, where I was on the flyer and where I was like fully and officially booked, and that was with Stompin themselves. So it sort of celebrates my 3 years of kind of like being with Stompin, since I've sort of like, I've only just more recently like got regular bookings with Stompin, but they've always been good to me, and they've always let me have a go on the mic, and they've always sort of, it's always been a really decent night. So it's like a little bit of a celebration for me, because it's like I say, it's celebrating that sort of 3 years since they first ever booked me for the Stompin itself, which I've still got the flyer. It's just there on my wall, and it was an introducing MC Noble on the flyer, so I got this and introducing, which was really good. They was introducing me, this local guy from Driffield, who was spitting bars in his shed, and they sort of brought him to the stage and gave him a set, and you know, I'll always be grateful for that. And you know, it was back in the older days of stomping. I mean, God, I mean, looking back at it now, five. Oh, we're back live. I don't know what happened there. It just like buffered for a couple of seconds. Yeah, full of locals. That is crazy. There wasn't even a second room then. Like, you look at this stomping now, and then you look back at that stomping, and you see the change stomping, and you see where stomping's like, just really like, wow, crazy. Crazy times. Definitely crazy times. Look at that. Crazy. Even like the lineups have changed so much. I'm just looking back through some of the stomping flyers now that I do have on my wall. Crazy. To think like how they've evolved. I mean, the Stompin's first birthday. So again, 2 years ago, 2020. Even that lineup, that was when Stompin was, in my eyes, when it was starting to get a lot better, and you know, they was bringing in some like bigger names, and you know, was getting some really nice sort of like, you know, beastie lineups coming our way. So that's good. But yeah, so anyway, so the third birthday yesterday, again, it was another really good, successful night for me, and you know, it's another good booking. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy stompings, but I still like to update you guys and sort of review it through sort of like YouTube anyway, you know, as it's somewhere I play. I do it like with everywhere I play. Even if I get like last minute gigs, or if I go somewhere and they just happen to like say jump on the mic or something, I always like to come live and talk about the experience, like I did for last weekend with the Core Vibes, you know, when we surprised them for Lady Vibes' birthday. So it's all good in the hood. It's all gravy. So next up for me is, I believe it's the Core Vibes. If I do decide to go, and then there'll be something the following day. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Because like I say, I do believe I'm going to be playing it. But you know, I can't confirm it just yet. But what I'm going to say is it's looking good. It's looking promising, and it's looking good. So all I'm saying is keep your eyes peeled, and I'm pretty certain we will sort some things out and stuff like that. There's still some other bookings as well that I haven't, you know, like they haven't been announced yet, but there's like stuff in the pipeline. There's I've got a little something in Hull time, but it's just not been announced yet. The last I heard, the date for that got brought forward by a week, I think it was. So, but I'm just waiting for official. I know they was trying to get headliner, see when he was available, and that's all I know. Oh, we're back again. It like buffered again. Yeah, so I know they're trying to get this headliner, see if he's available. I got booked for something else as well that I will no longer be doing this booking because something went down behind the scenes. But again, I ain't going to go into detail. You know, it never got announced. The booking was just something in the pipeline. I got asked if I'd do it. At first, I was like, yeah, damn, of course I'll do it. And then, you know, when you find out that, you know, someone you think sound turns out not to be sound. But you know, once I am allowed and I'm able to say something online, I'll definitely by all means, I'll have no problem in shaming the guy through the web. Trust me. But just because there's just a few things going through the law, I think, at the moment. You know, with the police and stuff. That's what I can gather. So, once I can say a little bit more, or once it's acceptable to freely speak about it on a stream, you'll know about it. But I won't take the booking, obviously. Saying that, the actual night itself probably won't even go ahead now anyway. But yeah, then there's some other things in the pipeline. So all I can say is just keep your eyes locked, keep your eyes peeled, and stuff like that. So for this one, for me, we're gonna definitely rate it up there. It's gonna be about 8/9 for me. They wanted me to play hard house. I was quite buzzed wanting to do a bounce set, but I still love playing my hard house as well. So that's all gravy. And just like I say, keep your eyes peeled for upcoming bookings and things I'll be doing. So yes, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. Peace out, people.